The point is that the royal family is not ready to do the needful. What they're trying to do with this tour is to recreate and bask in the glory of the British Empire. And these former colonized Caribbean nations are not having any of it. There are three things they need to focus on. And the royal family and this government is not ready to do that. And that's truth, reconciliation, and justice. Truth means acknowledging the ugliness and the benefit, the wealth that he got off the backs of enslaved black people. Reconciliation starts with an apology, which the royal family is refusing to do. And justice is reparations. Reparations were given to the slave owners, but not to the enslaved. So this is what we're talking about. All of this, if they're not ready to do that, what the heck are they going there for? Let me tell you this. They say that they're going there to celebrate the culture, future and vibrancy of the islands. How insulting and disingenuous.
Well, the future, that's the point.
Please, they don't need the royal family to come celebrate them. They're celebrating themselves, but by themselves. What they need and what should be done, not because they need it, but the right thing to do is for the royal family to address truth, justice and reconciliation.
There's a time and place for everything. And this particular tour is to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. She has loved the Commonwealth ever since she became Queen. It's a very long time, 70 years. And I think that these things, for once, must be put on one side, and it should be a glorious warm feeling between the Caribbean and the UK. I mean, when Catherine and William went to Belize, there was this demonstration, which was very embarrassing for them. So they moved away from where they were to an entirely different place. So there became another demonstration for people who were very upset that they'd been missed out, that looked forward to seeing the royal couple for a long time. And they were very unhappy that they moved away. So if the whole thing is cancelled, it means there's going to be an awful lot of people who love the royal family, particularly love the Queen, and they will feel that they've missed out for no good reason.
Angela, are you not embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed? No. You should be embarrassed. I mean, you talk about there should be a warm feeling.
Hang on, Angela.
Talk about there should be a warm feeling. For who and from whom? You talk about, well, there's a certain thing at a certain time, and we should prioritize. You want to prioritize white supremacy over people's lives.
You just let me finish.
I've not lost an argument. This is the point. No, I'm going to finish because I let her finish, so I'm going to respond.
Right.
This is the point. The people in these countries are talking about the experiences that they've had. They are the descendants of the enslaved. You don't tell them, oh, put aside your feeling and be warm and receive, and glorify the Queen. That is wrong. And that's what I'm saying. You should be embarrassed.
Ian wants to speak.
You see, when you use these terms like white supremacy about a royal tour, you completely lose the argument. Whatever value your other arguments are, it disappears when you go to these.
Of course you would say that.
You can choose her words.
No, I don't need to. Listen, I'm speaking the truth, which you would like to call being ambivalent with the truth. I'm speaking the truth. No, it's not just my truth. It's the truth of the Caribbean people. It's the truth of colonized African nations. Because British Empire is all about white supremacy.
It's about discussion. Are you going to allow me to have a word? Are you going to allow me to have a word, Shola?
Of course, I have. I heard, and that's why I'm responding.
Pause. Come on.
I mean, seriously, this is not the way. This is not the way to debate.
Don't police tone what I'm responding back to you.
Here we go.
Shola, just handbrake on. Let Ian speak, and then we'll let you come back in.
This is as Angela rightly says, this is a visit to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. You will admit that there are lots of people in the Caribbean who would like to celebrate this. There are people...
No.
You don't think there's anybody in the Caribbean that would like to celebrate the Queen's
You didn't say anybody.
Jubilee?
You said lots of people. They've got
there would be lots of people
in the Caribbean nations who have been trying to address the issue of reparations for years.
Yeah.
They're not interested in celebrating.
That's a legitimate debate.
I want to bring in Angela just a moment. Angela, when William and Kate walked into that row, it did show, didn't it, that we here are a little bit unsighted on some of the things that Shola's talking about. We're a bit out of touch with it.
Yeah, I think that if what she's saying is true, And I think she should be very careful what she says, because I know she's very anti-monarchy in the first place. But if what she's saying is true, there would be no Commonwealth left. There are 54 members who want to join the Commonwealth. They are there because they want to. There's no things that they have to do. They get together and they talk and they sort out issues that they have. And even those who've become Republican want to stay within the Commonwealth. Now, that is because they like the Queen and they like the royal family. It can't be any other way. They could all go
whitewashing. Even Prince Harry talked about that it is important for the Commonwealth to recognise its roots and legacy, or the royal family to do that.
But these countries are voluntarily members of the Commonwealth. None of them have left.
Aside. This cannot be
all right,
put aside.
Why don't they leave? Why don't they leave? Why don't they leave then? Why don't all of these West Indian islands leave?
Shola,
it's not just about the Commonwealth.
Angela, sorry.
It's about going to this country,
is like turning up at a party
and celebrating the British Empire. There is no British Empire. Nobody's interested in the white supremacy that British Empire
we need to take calls. Shola, listen.
We don't want it.
It started with a look. Dr. Shola Mos Shogbamimu met Angela Levin's gaze, and the usual TV debate facade shattered. This wasn't about polite disagreement, it was about truth confronting bias. She didn't just counter Levin's points, she exposed the underlying prejudice and double standards. Dr. Shola named the prejudice, called out the coded language, and shifted the focus from Meghan and Harry's supposed faults to the motivations of their critics. Her intervention was a powerful act of defiance in a media landscape that values politeness over honesty, especially on issues of race. Dr. Shola wore the label of divisive as a badge of honour, knowing progress requires uncomfortable truths. It was a moment of clarity, a disruption that sent shockwaves through the media establishment. The British media is governed by unspoken rules, chief among them, protect the establishment. The monarchy is shielded from scrutiny, while dissenting voices are sidelined. Dr. Shola's confrontation with Angela Levin broke this rule wide open. She didn't ask for permission to talk about race, she stated it as fact. By calling out prejudice, she was accused of creating division. Dr. Shola's defiance was a reminder that real change means breaking the unspoken rules. The backlash against Dr. Shola was swift. She was called divisive. This word is often weaponized to silence uncomfortable truths about race and inequality. When people of colour name systemic racism, they're blamed for creating division, not describing reality. The person who exposes the rift is punished, while those perpetuating it claim to defend unity. This is classic tone policing, shifting focus from substance to the aggression of the messenger. Dr. Shola was calm and precise, but her refusal to soften her language was labelled hostile. In Britain, where politeness is prized, division is a plea for silence that benefits the privileged. True unity can't be built on silence, it requires confronting injustice head-on. The real division isn't in naming injustice, but in allowing it to persist unchallenged. Dr. Shola's stance showed that the old tactic of labelling dissent as divisive is losing its power. By refusing to be intimidated, she empowered others to speak their truth. The debate around Meghan Markle can't be separated from Britain's colonial past. The monarchy once symbolised an empire built on racial hierarchy, leaving deep assumptions about who belongs. Meghan, as a mixed-race American divorced woman, challenged these assumptions. Dr. Shola's confrontation brought this colonial undercurrent to the surface. She highlighted that the racism Meghan faced was systemic, rooted in colonial power dynamics. The expectation that Meghan should be grateful and silent echoes colonial attitudes. Resistance to Meghan was, in part, resistance to decolonising the monarchy. Critics' language betrayed a colonial hangover, accusing Meghan of being too loud, too ambitious. Dr. Shola refused to let this context be ignored, connecting media treatment to the legacy of empire. Her intervention forced a conversation Britain often avoids. The Sussexes' story is more than royal drama. It's a mirror reflecting Britain's hidden tensions. Meghan's experience became a litmus test for views on race, class, and the monarchy's future. For many people of colour, her story was painfully familiar, validating their own experiences. When Harry and Meghan spoke out, it was cathartic for those long unheard. Support for them is rooted in shared experience and a desire for change. Fierce opposition, meanwhile, reveals a reluctance to confront uncomfortable truths about Britain's past. For some, Meghan is a scapegoat, allowing them to avoid self-reflection. The Sussexes' story has become a culture war between tradition and inclusion, denial and reckoning. They didn't create the division, but their story brought it into sharp focus. In choosing sides, Britain reveals its soul. The royal family isn't just a family, it's the symbol of the British state. Any challenge to the monarchy is seen as a threat to national identity. Harry and Meghan's departure shattered the carefully managed royal narrative. Their revelations expose cracks in the facade, opening space for critical debate about the monarchy's relevance. The battle over the royal story is also a battle over history, whether to celebrate it uncritically or confront its colonial past. Meghan's presence forced a reckoning with uncomfortable truths. The debate about her treatment became a proxy for how Britain should reckon with its history. The Sussexes became catalysts for this clash, their story public property in a larger war over Britain's future. Every headline became ammunition in a national identity struggle. Dr. Shola's confrontation was more than TV drama. It was a reckoning. The old rules of engagement are no longer acceptable. For too long, a narrow group controlled conversations about race, power and the monarchy. Dr. Shola's refusal to be silenced signalled a growing movement, demanding honesty. The Sussexes' story has exposed deep fault lines in British society, divisions over race, class and identity. These conversations are explosive because they're really about who belongs and whose truth matters. Confronting these truths isn't divisive, it's essential for progress. The discomfort is necessary. It forces self-examination and challenges assumptions. Resistance is inevitable, but the conversation can't be unstarted. The silence is broken, and voices demanding change are growing louder. These confrontations are chipping away at structures that protect the powerful. Thanks to courageous individuals like Dr. Shola, Britain is finally having the conversations it needs. The path forward requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to face the truth in the mirror.